All right, it's time for honest signals. And the longer that I explore this whole area of attraction in women, the more I think honest signals are literally everything. Okay, this is one of the most important things you can possibly understand in all of game, in all of human psychology, in all of relationships, whatever. I hope I've emphasized this enough because it's that fucking important, okay? So first I'm gonna explain what honest signals are, and then I'm gonna explain what they mean in terms of women. Honest signals is an idea from evolution, and basically it's the idea that when animals are selecting mates, they're looking at specific criteria because nobody can take in everything, right? So instead of taking in all the information, they're looking at a few very indicative markers that give the full picture. So the usual example given for the honest signal is the peacock's feathers, all right? So the peacock has these brightly colored tail feathers, and basically those don't help it survive, okay? Those brightly colored feathers actually make it a better target for predators. So why does it have it? If we're looking in terms of evolution, survival of the fittest, those feathers are not helping it survive. Evolution isn't actually survival of the fittest, it's replication of the fittest. It's mating of the fittest. And so even though those feathers hurt the peacock in terms of survival, they help it mate because the peahen is attracted to them. Now, why is the peahen attracted to them? Well, obvious answer is because peahens that were attracted to them in the past did a better job genetically. But again, why? Why is that the case? Here's why. Because in order for the peacock to have those brightly colored feathers, it means two things. Number one, it means it's eating an extremely healthy and nourishing diet, meaning it's well fed and doing well in life, because otherwise it genetically would not be able to create those colors. So it's well fed, it's showing that it's not just surviving, but it's thriving. But here's another very big one, which is it's indicating that it's able to survive in spite of doing this thing that's genetically not to its best interest. So again, it's not just surviving, it's thriving. Okay, now why do we call it an honest signal? It's because it's something the peacock cannot fake. It cannot fake being alive and surviving through predators, because if it was dead, it just wouldn't be there. It cannot fake those colors because it cannot just choose to create those colors. It can only create those colors by eating the right diet. Okay, so peahen sees the peacock's feathers, she knows instantly this is a good mate. Okay, there are similar kind of things with men and women. Right? And so there are all these kind of, you can talk your game at a girl all day long and she can be like, yeah, I don't believe it, I don't know, whatever. She sees one solid honest signal, all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, I love this guy. And that's why girls would go so quickly for like celebrities, for example. Or that's why, for example, and we'll get into exactly the details on this in the subsequent sections, that's why a lot of times a student of mine can be talking to a girl for an hour and she doesn't trust him. I'll walk over and say like 3 sentences to her, she trusts him and we'll go home with him. Okay, partly it's because I have good game and I know what I'm saying, but a big part of it is because I don't appear to have an agenda, and so what I am saying is perceived as more honest. So it's an honest signal as opposed to what the guy is saying is perceived as a dishonest signal. Okay, so what I'm gonna say to you right now is that there's all this information being thrown at the girl every time you're talking to her or every time you're interacting with her. But she's not focusing on that. She's focusing on this tiny little segment that is the honest signals. And if you get the honest signals right, the rest of it almost doesn't matter. If you get the honest signals wrong, the rest of it almost doesn't matter, okay? So what we really want to focus on in our game are what are the honest signals and how can we make those as positive as possible.